Thanks for coming over to this Amodeus. Today's Dungeon Hunter Champion video is about team composition and the role of the immunity buffer. Now, before we get started today, I want to take another second to thank everyone for volunteering for the box reviews, and a special thanks to those folks who are following up and letting me know. And as always, if you're using my promo code, those extra crystals we get are a huge help, not just for my progression, but also to help me do these videos. So thanks again. Okay, on to immunity. Immunity is amazing. It lets you ignore all the dastardly evil plots of your enemies to weaken and ultimately kill you. It is by far the best buff in the game, in my personal opinion, because it lets me build teams without worrying about what someone else is going to do. Oh, you want to lower my defense? Nope. Oh, you want to stun me? Nope. Diva wants to? Nope. It's amazing, right? So Dungeon Hunter Champions has a ton of champs who offer immunity, from Basilisks to vampires. But as a beginner's guide, I want to focus on the most accessible units. And from an accessibility standpoint, there are few immunity buffers with more love in the game than Garai and Zircon. Now, I used Garai at 5-star, all vital defense, all the way through Elder Drake 10 until I was farming Steel Widow 10. Now, he's amazing. But since launch, there's another champion who has sought to steal the spotlight, but he had a lot of problems in the beginning. That's Zircon, the Water Crystal Priest. Zircon's AI was horrible in the beginning, but now he's Einstein. He is amazing. Now, they both offer immunity, but they come from vastly different team composition roles, and that's important. I want to break that down a little bit, because I think they are a great contrast because they really represent the two ways immunity champions tend to work in Dungeon Hunter Champions. So let's start with Garai. He is a tank with a synergy trait skill that boosts defense for everyone on your Elder Drake team, like you see on the screen right now. This is invaluable as a new player because you just don't have the gear to make the stats work, right? So having these synergy traits that do buffs to everybody on your team is absolutely a go-to way to make your team stronger. But he also has a disorient, lower defense, and he's a defense-based damage dealer. Now, this was nerfed previously in one of the updates because it was just too much, right? But that doesn't stop Garai from dominating an arena defense, Elder Drake, and even Steel Widow teams in the new meta. For all this, you might be curious how another immunity champion could be viable if you have access to Garai the Water Basilisk, or if you're super lucky, his brother the Light Basilisk Camille. Still waiting on you, Camille. Gameloft, take a note. All right, so the answer to this question is pretty easy. It's called team composition. Garai makes sense if he can fill the role of a tank, but if you have a better tank and still want immunity, what are you going to do? Well, since his AI boost, the obvious answer is the Water Crystal Priest Zircon, or his Dark Brother Amethyst if you like arena rewards, because that's how you get him. Now, Zircon goes in the opposite direction of Garai, as he is a support champion that boosts an immunity buff with a regeneration buff, and his other skill is a heal. Now, on Adept gear, Zircon is amazing because he can even double up his regeneration, and there's 100% immunity uptime, which is amazing. So combine this with his heal, and you can understand why for many early to mid-game teams, he's the immunity buffer of choice. On the downside, as you'll see here, he can be very squishy if you don't build him to be able to withstand damage. So you're always going to be limited in the gear you have to choose from. So I've made Garai's gear, I switch his gear around to make him viable, but not to put it on that super ultra 6-star legendary gear. And we'll take a look at his gear in a second, and we'll look at Zircon's as well. Zircon does need a better quality of gear. So while you're limited to the gear you have to choose, both of these champions really do help you, either with the defense boost from Garai or the regeneration buff from Zircon. They both kind of help you on your early stage team, so they're really good. And putting them on Adept is optimal because it really does get everything up as consistently as possible, especially that immunity. Because of Garai's additional debuffs, he does benefit from precise, or at least accuracy on an offset more than Zircon. Because of his squishiness, I really do recommend Zircon for sturdy or a vital offset. In either case, you want to build these champions tank with lots of defense and HP either way. They're just amazing units overall. Now, there are other units out there that I do want to talk about that provide immunity. And once again, they fill different roles. For instance, Ella, the Water Ranger, offers immunity, and she's a great PvP champion. We did an entire video. I'll put the link in the description, and you can just see everything that she does. Great unit, right? I'm super stoked because yesterday we pulled the spoilers. If you didn't watch the video yesterday, first of all, I apologize for the sound quality. I got no idea what happened. But in yesterday's video, we actually pulled the Nature Archangel. Would you like a shield? Yes. Would you like immunity? Yes. Ah, great unit. Not nearly as stoked about that unit as I am the fact that we got Yuko, though. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know it's been a problem for us. But we got one. We're building them today. Super excited to see what they can do. Now, if they can't do anything, it doesn't matter. I'm going to make something. I'm just teasing. I really hope they improve my teams because I have been looking forward to using those units for a long time. But back to immunity. Let's grab our gym real quick. We're going to look at the top arena players in Dungeon Hunter Champions real quick. So Xerxes, number 4. Let's see if he has any immunity on his arena defense. See if it's in-game compatible. Oh, he's got Ansgar, the water vampire. What's he got? Oh, he's got immunity. So, number 4. Let's look at Druxirius. Oh, he's got Garai. Okay, we just did Garai. Okay, so Garai's viable. Great. Ansgar, once again, water vampire. Great unit. Joink, number 1. Joink, what's going on? Where's your immunity? You're killing me, Smalls. So, the reason so many... you're number 1. I don't know what to say. So, the biggest opportunity we see here is that in Arena, Diva is overpowered and she is the meta, right? Like some games have a speed meta. In Dungeon Hunter Champions, the largest arena offense you have to be prepared to deal with is Diva. And immunity, like I said earlier, deals with Diva. So you're going to see that in an in-game standpoint, immunity units are very compatible. So one of the things that we talked about that we wanted to show off was, are these units we're talking about today going to be viable in Steel Widow 2, right? Because we don't want to build a unit just to do one or two things. We want to build units that do multiple things, because once again, that reduces the amount of gear we have to build. That means we spend less gold, we make less mistakes, we have less regrets. We all want that in life. So let's see if our units are going to be viable over in Steel Widow. Okay, so here we have a free-to-play friendly starter team for Steel Widow 10. This is probably a familiar team for many of you, because this is kind of a go-to default team that I use for free-to-play when we talk about different units, right? Because you got Zircon on here, even at 5-star level 50 with decent gear, he's 100% able to do this, because we do have a Maul with skill cooldown that allows him to have his regen and his immunity up, even double stacking the regen actually. But in addition, it also allows our Archangel to stack his shield, which is just like giving everybody else like 25,000 extra HP, or whatever the math is on his HP. So it's really, really good. And then, of course, we did a whole video on this previously in the Beginner's Guide series with Rona, the Water Crow Hag. She's a great stripper. She's awesome. And then you have Sigrun, free to play. The game gives it to you. And just from a DPS standpoint, at a starter area, just super great in Steel Widow 11. So as you can see, Zircon he's in there. Like, there's no doubt. The immunity has consistently gone up. The regeneration has constantly gone up. He's basically solo healing this entire team for the entirety of the run. Now, great things that happen. Oh no! Oh, that's why you got to build him a little. That's why you got to build him a little tanky. But great things about this team. One, in the waves, because you have immunity, you don't have to worry about being feared, stunned, and things like that. When you're fighting the boss, you don't have to worry about being feared or stunned. In theory, you didn't have to worry about ongoing damage, but what horrible RNG for from that standpoint for that particular run. Interesting. But all in all, I would still say successful run. Obviously, we made it through. All right, so now we can talk about Garai and Steel Widow 10. So once again, free-to-play team. You could easily replace them all with Manus in this particular instance. I just am a big fan of them all recently. So now look, first and foremost, let's pay attention to the immunity and see how it's consistently being up. Now, this is actually not how he works on other teams. What we need to make sure we do is put him on adept, right? Then we want to make sure that we have other units on the team that cycle through skills faster. And that's exactly what Vamal and Xenia do on this team. In addition, because Vamal has a skill cooldown, you're able to cycle through skills faster. Cycling through skills fast is great for every team as far as survivability goes, especially when you have like an Archangel or an immunity buffer on the team where they can stack things, right? So the Light Archangel is going to help us stack shields. Vamal is going to help us stack Garai's shield, right? It's also going to increase the heal. I mean, there's a lot of components to that are really, really important to make this team composition work as a whole. But at the root, it's immunity, because immunity allows us to do whatever else we want to do with whoever else is on the team, whatever our plan is. Immunity gives us the ability to do that. And as you can see by the player portrait or by the champion portraits, there's no downtime or no gap in the coverage, right? So that's key, because once again, like we talked in the beginning, you want to do this? Nope. You want to do this? Nope. You want to do this? Nope. So we don't have to worry about stuns, fears. In theory, we don't have to worry about ongoing damage. But RNG, right? So, but still, the amount of damage that we're taking is inconsequential, because we also have the ability for the Archangel to have all of his skills up. Plus, the disorient's going on to the Steel Widow, so there's just less damage, making the team more survivable. And as you see, that lower defense helped. And now, boom, it's a sub 2 minute free-to-play team without like 100% maxed out champion on the team, right? Like Garai's not level 60. He's not 6-starred. He doesn't have the best gear on him. But, I mean, he contributed fantastically to this team, because without him, how are we really going to have immunity or break defense or have disorient, right? So he did a great job. I'd love to hear what you guys think about immunity. Who's your favorite immunity buffer? Obviously, you know what my opinion is, right? But who's your favorite? And if you're an in player, drop some feedback down below. Let everybody know what works, what doesn't work. Keep us all from making mistakes. Make the community better that way. I'm a big fan of making well-informed decisions. But as always, thanks for watching the videos. Have a great day. Bye.